Thank you, Kevin and the MacLeods.
Man,
for the 5-card shuffle.
That has to be one of his most famous ones, right?
I looked it up. Over 1 million views on YouTube.
Get out of here.
I swear. 1,091,000 views.
That just doesn't track with me.
I mean...
Who's seeking this out? Like, I found it by happenstance searching on his website for 5.
Yeah, it seems like he posts all of his stuff on YouTube as well and tags it with royalty-free music. So you figure if anyone's doing a video, like a training video or a work video,
sure,
they need royalty-free music. They're going to YouTube, typing it in. And
man.
Well done, Kevin.
Yeah.
Because he's making money off of it.
Yeah, monetizing on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, if it's got a million views on it.
Do you think there's a type of music that he hates making on his royalty-free, but he's like, well, this one gets a lot of clicks? Because he does, like,
probably
soundtrack-style stuff. He does. Obviously, we have the hip-hop ones that he created that we used to use for the Throat Goblin tournament.
Yep. Oh, yeah. If you want to be the best,
you got to be a fighter. That's the type of guy, too, who if he was making a rap song, those are the lyrics that he would definitely put in there.
Yeah, definitely. It does sound like lame white guy rap lyrics.
Yeah, again, he looks like 10 to 12 year older than me with the same hairstyle. We have to repost that side by side.
It's incredible.
We have to find it and repost it.
I had completely forgotten how much you guys looked alike until I was scrolling back through and I found that side by side image.
That's terrifying. Terrifying, and I don't like it.
But we digress.
It's
the Fast 5 episode.
Fast 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You want to go first? You want me to go first?
I believe I went last time. So why don't you go ahead and take it?
All right, I can go first. This is one that's got to be near and dear to your heart. Mark D'Antonio.
Boy, I had a kind of a jerk reaction on Twitter right away. I stand by it, just maybe toned down a little bit.
What was your reaction?
F him.
It seems fishy, right?
I'm not worried about the fishy. I'm more worried about the, you know what? We'll talk about that on the turnaround.
Next, impeachment.
Any day now, right? Oh, wait, it's done?
Yeah, they finished.
Who'd have guessed? Wake me up if something actually is going to happen. Why does everything have to be like some political move? Like, why can't it simply just be what needed to be done? And I'm not saying that, he needed to be impeached. I'm not getting into that.
Well, he was impeached. You mean needed to be removed.
Removed.
Yeah, removed from office.
But this whole idea of, Pelosi, they did it in the House, but Pelosi's not going to send him. Oh, maybe she's going to send him, but she's going to wait. Oh, she's going to make him squirm. Well, then she said, everything's a political game.
Yeah. She really showed him, though, by ripping up that copy of his speech at the State of the Union.
He'll never be the same. And then did you see that?
I think we're getting a little too in-depth.
Yep. We'll talk about that
on the turnaround. Next, the Loch Ness Monster. You see?
Oh, no. Is there an update? Yes! Is there a video? Picture?
There was, I don't know, supposedly some video of...
Get that damn thing on the Jumbotron while we filibuster, because on the turnaround, I'm all in on Nessie.
Really?
Oh, I'm all in. Sasquatch, Nessie.
So you're a firm believer that they exist?
Lee Harvey Oswald was framed. The 3 big ones I'm in on.
So Sasquatch, Loch Ness Monster,
yep,
and Lee Harvey Oswald was framed.
Yep, those are the 3 big ones that rustle through the internet grass for conspiracies. And I'm all in on all 3. But yeah, I'm fascinated by Nessie. So yeah, I always love seeing these videos and pictures that pop up. People are like, oh, what's this? Just saw this in Lake Loch.
Yeah. You mean Loch Ness? Lake Loch?
It is Lake Loch, I think. I think it's called Lake Loch. Loch Ness would be the... Am I wrong?
Well, Lake Loch, I think, means Lake.
Well, I mean, what do you want from me? Fresh.
Because Loch Ness means
you're
Lake,
right. You're right.
Lake Ness.
I knew it was Loch Ness Monster. I just figured that was some different use. Yeah, I don't know why I thought it was Lake Loch. You sure it's not?
I mean,
well, you know what?
I can't be positive.
I'm really sorry that I offended a man of the sea and the open water, Jet Steve. Here with my embarrassing takes on water.
Jet Steve is not thrilled about that. All right, moving on. Gayle King's Lisa Leslie interview.
Man, much ado about nothing. You can't minimize one side of people who are feeling a certain way. Whatever. This is a lot deeper than an athlete dying at a younger age than a lot of people thought. You can't minimize somebody for asking a question regarding a very, very real issue that was a part of this athlete's life. I don't care if it was 15 years ago, 2 years ago, whatever.
Yeah, it's. It was a pretty big part of his life.
Yeah.
So why?
I don't understand why whatever. She's getting dragged over the raked over the coals on
the
internet.
Do you think? Will she lose her job?
No, I don't think. Listen, Steve, this is showbiz. You don't piss off Oprah.
It's true.
So if CBS
but I thought I saw that Oprah was not on her side about this.
Oh, maybe not, but still, you fire Oprah's best friend. CBS is officially removing themselves from the Oprah business for the future.
And number 5, St. Valentine's Day, right around the corner, just 6 days away. At time of recording, by the time you're hearing this, just 2 days away.
1 day.
Is this Friday or Saturday? Oh, yeah, never mind. It's on Friday. My days are all mixed up. Doesn't matter, though. It's a podcast. Time is a flat circle.
Cupid is awaking from his or her slumber, loading up the quivers, arrows from the quiver. Is the quiver the arrow holder?
Oh, boy. Time out.
Bow and arrow quiver. I feel like the quiver.
I thought it was a quill.
A quill? A quill
no,
is the pen,
quill's
right?
A pen, yeah.
The quiver is the holder. So Cupid's got that little holder slung over his or her shoulder.
Right.
Is Cupid androgynous? Is it kind of like unknown if it's a boy or a girl?
I always thought Cupid was a boy.
Is Cupid a boy? Boy, we're getting deep. Is Cupid a male or a female? Cupid is the god of desire, erotic love, attraction, and affection. He is often portrayed as the son of the love goddess Venus and the god of Mars.
Never knew that.
God, Greeks were dumb. Just so dumb. Yeah, the god of Mars. Whatever. I don't. I think for the first year in a while, I talked about it. Katie, don't think we're doing anything.
No, you're not doing the
no surprise.
Not
gifts.
Doing the couple's massage, huh?
God, nothing sounds worse.
It's really nice.
Awful.
It's just a fantastic thing to do.
You know what? You do your thing. I'll do mine, Katie. Happy Valentine's Day.
So I'll do my thing. You'll do your thing, which is nothing.
Yep. Again, you go to your couple's massage. Video chat me if you want, but don't interrupt me reading a book.
That's exactly what I'm doing. Hey, masseuse, do you mind if I video chat my friend?
What I want...
I guess they... I can do what I want there, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's those masseuses... Messiahs? You know those messiahs have had, Johnny Businessman with those stupid AirPods in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it used to be the Bluetooth that stuck out like an inch or two off the ear.
Now it's the AirPods that just dangle, looks like a long, like something, hanging from your earlobe. Yeah. No, I said close the deal. No, I can't right now. I'm busy. I'm in an important meeting. They've had that. So the idea of you being like, hey, can I video chat my friend Kyle? To them would be like, yeah, whatever. Another Thursday here at the Messiah joint.
All right, before that, we had Gayle King's Lisa Leslie interview. She was interviewing, because Lisa Leslie, the WNBA...
Yeah, and I believe she played
legend.
for the L.A. Sparks, so LA connection type of thing.
Right.
It's a big
Are
community.
Are the Sparks owned by...
They're affiliated with the NBA. I don't know how ownership... I think every WNBA team is owned by the NBA.
Because I think that Magic Johnson has an ownership stake in the Sparks. Because I know he does with the baseball team, the Dodgers, but I think he's a partial owner of the Sparks as well. But anyway, doesn't matter. So Gayle King was interviewing Lisa Leslie about Kobe Bryant's death and brought up his sexual assault charges from 2003?
Yeah.
2004?
2003, and she, Lisa Leslie, said that did not affect her memory of her thinking of Kobe Bryant's legacy, but that question was aired in an advertisement for the full interview, which... That full interview, no offense to Lisa Leslie, probably not going to be very interesting regarding Kobe Bryant.
Not because of Lisa Leslie,
no.
but because of I don't know.
There's nothing that needs to be said. I don't know. Yeah. I don't feel like there's any more extra insight outside of everybody saying, yeah, he made me love basketball, whatever. Mm-hmm. And I'm not minimizing people who are upset about his death, but man, oh man, how is this going to be a thing where every week there's going to be a new, long form interview with a Kobe Bryant associate, whether it be a friend, coach, or teammate, and then they're going to act like it's some big news breaker when it's not.
Probably.
It's obviously a tragedy, and it's the sports question that everybody's going to be asked, no matter your sport. Tennis, soccer, whatever, is how did Kobe Bryant, affect your game or whatever.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, we can't ask about a very real thing that was in the national news cycle for a long time. So,
side note, can the guy be laid to rest? It's been 2 weeks at this point.
Is he not buried?
No, and they're doing a memorial.
I saw they are doing a memorial on 2/24.
2/24.
Yep, which I don't know that
2 weeks from now.
I don't get the impression that they're going to have his casket.
No, I don't
there,
think so. But yeah, there has still not been there has not been a funeral yet. Man, when I'm dead, I want to be gone within 2 days.
Yeah, get me down there. Get me in the ground.
I don't think I want to go in the ground. I think
you want to be burned?
Yeah, throw me in the fireplace. Burn me a bit.
No, thank you. I want to be buried with my organs. They're mine.
By the way, that would have been
a
one seed right there.
If we didn't make the best decision of my life, because I would pull all those and cancel that segment,
and then I would take 3 days to match them up against each other.
I'd have a lot of work to do.
All right. Before that, we have the Loch Ness Monster. Kyle, I ask you to turn to the right and look at that picture of the Loch Ness Monster. You see it?
Did you send me a picture of a dirt hill?
Look, here, maybe I'll just zoom in a bit so you can get a better shot of it.
Oh, that's not the sky.
No.
Okay.
Oh, my zoom's not working. There we go.
No, I see. No, I see what you're looking at. Well,
pretty good evidence right there, right?
Really hoping for more.
Yeah, that was the first Nessie sighting.
It's been a while.
Of the decade over at Lake Loch.
Lake itself. Wow. Yeah, I'm fascinated by it. I love those old videos and things that you see. Mm-hmm. There's one, and obviously if you said this was the first this decade, well, the decade's not that new.
Yeah, but we're 1 month in.
Yeah. There was the one, it was not a drone, but an overhead plane, and you could see something slithering under the water, and man, I love it. I'm fascinated by it. You a believer?
And
you a Nessie believer?
Nessie, probably not so much. I feel like...
Where are you at on Squatch?
Same thing. Somebody would have... there would be evidence. There would be... But I want to believe. Yeah. It's like the old X-Files poster.
Hey, we got a poster right here that's going up in APS 4.0 2020 ever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I want to believe. Yeah. I do. I want to see it. Nobody wants to see a Sasquatch more than this guy.
Where are you at on LHO?
I believe he murdered...
On to the next one. Where were we at on the Fast Five then?
Impeachment.
Yeah, whatever. It's over. It was obvious. It was known early on anyway, after it was sent from the House to the Senate, that nothing was going to happen in terms of removal.
Right.
So it looks like it's a token that somebody just wanted to do it because it would show, well, he's the third ever president to be impeached. And
it's kind of a kangaroo court, too.
It was.
It's a kangaroo court scenario where...
The whole thing was a sham.
Yeah.
And it wasn't done properly. There's accusations of everything being rushed. I don't know if that's true. I don't know much about anything because I've really, really tried to turn that entire discussion off from my life because it doesn't do anybody any good.
No.
To argue. That's all it leads to. That's all it leads to is disagreements and arguments.
And finally, I start off with Mark D'Antonio, the coach of your former coach of your beloved Michigan State Steve's football team.
Yeah, screw him. I'm really upset. Now, this guy did more for that university and the football team than any coach before.
15 years or so?
13 years, 114 wins, the all-time leader at Michigan State. Left under a cloud, a very, very bad cloud. some deposition being leaked about his head recruiting guy was stepped in it and got fired, decided to sue, whatever. Don't need to get into the minutia of that. The reason I'm upset, Steve, about the way he left is he had spent the entire fall talking and telling everybody who would ask during this very bad year for the football team that he was definitely not leaving. He had no desire to leave. He's going to be there. And even then, I get it. Minds change.
Sure. Yeah, he could have had something happen in his personal life that made him say, you know something?
He's not a young man.
No.
He's in his 60s. His daughters are in college or leaving college. I don't blame anybody who wants to leave and enjoy their lives without having to worry about football 20 hours a day. That seems miserable, very honestly. But their football season ended on the last week in December. The coaching cycle, the way it works,
I saw this,
is they all get snatched up pretty quick, right? Like, hey, if you want a good coach, you have to make a move pretty quick for it.
Which is why you saw, like in the NFL, I think was it Jacksonville that fired their coach with 2 or 3 games to go in the season. Carolina,
Ron Rivera, Riverboat Ron. It's a hot and
because if you fire someone, you get the early pick of who's already out there.
Yep.
Now, granted, there could be a better coach that doesn't get fired until the end of the season.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
you
earlier
have to
the better.
step up on the search. So, D'Antonio sitting there on his hands for 6 weeks and then deciding to retire, to me at least, is one of the biggest disservices that he could have done to the university.
Well, I also saw something where if he stayed until
it was January 15th, he received a $4.3 million balloon payment. Whatever. These universities are just rolling in dollars. Mm-hmm. That doesn't concern me. If he wanted his $4 million, okay. Does it come off poorly? Absolutely. He doesn't have to answer to me for that. He brought the university at their peak for football to heights it had not known before. In essence, he probably deserved that money. Now, the way he went about and got it is filthy.
Yeah.
And here we are in February. Everybody's locked in the day before National Signing Day for high school football recruits, and he retires. Abrupt is an understatement. Yeah, rubbed me the wrong way. He'd driven that program into the ground the last 3 years. So
you're now a Wolverines fan?
Oh, Jesus. Am I an idiot?
Go green.
Go green.
No.
Oh,
I said go green.
Oh, go white.
You all right?
Yeah.
Just a little sad.
Go green.
Fast 5. What's your time for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1?
The Iowa caucus, Steve.
Boy, we really got a lot of answers.
What a mess. What a mess.
What the hell?
How does that happen?
The Iowa caucus has always kind of seemed like a weird sham.
It's very weird, and it's Iowa, so it's not like how Iowa worked their way into the focal point of the Democratic presidential race every 4 years is a shocker.
Just to confirm, we are 4 days out from the Iowa caucus, or it was 4 days ago.
Removed.
Or so?
I believe it was Monday.
Yeah, that's
so
the word I'm
5 days. 5 days removed from the Iowa caucus,
and we still don't know the results. Right?
Nope. And It seems that nobody is going to accept the results.
But anyway. Everyone has kind of declared victory on their own.
Yeah, Pete Buttigieg was the first one to declare victory the night of that. Nobody knew anything, so some speculation.
That's a bold move.
But
you could just be like, "Yeah, I won." What? What are you going to say? Prove me wrong.
Yeah,
you can't.
The conspiracy theorist in me, though, did you say? You know what? Sorry, we're too deep into this. We'll talk about that on the turnaround. Second, the XFL.
Oh, that starts today, doesn't it?
No, it started last Saturday.
Are you sure?
Yeah, this is Thursday, February the 14th, Steve. Or February.
So there have
13th.
already been XFL games.
Yeah, Saturday, February 8th. You know, this is...
Oh, of course. Yeah, the games. Can you believe how the Tampa...
That's the Tampa Bay...
There is a team in Tampa?
Hang on. Pull up the teams, because I'm a Houston Roughnecks fan.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, your long, rich history of oil drilling.
I did it because I like their logo the best. It looks like the old Houston Oilers.
Oh, okay. So they just
it's a ripoff.
They dusted off an old logo.
We've got the St. Louis Battlehawks, the Seattle Dragons.
What is a Battlehawk?
Wings. The Houston Roughnecks, the DC Defenders.
So who's playing? I mean, who played?
Who played last week? All 8 teams were in action there on opening weekend last week.
Was that on Saturday?
Yeah, this is a big deal, though, Steve, and I mean that honestly, because the big thing with XFL 1.0 was it was really rushed to market, and you see what happens.
And it was, they tried to incorporate it into WWE.
It was very
which was a terrible
WWE-ish.
idea.
And they were trying to cross over some fan bases. It didn't work, and the football was terrible. And it was all rushed. They didn't have stadiums to play in up until very close to games. This, though, Vince McMahon totally separated the two entities, liquidated some stock to really be able to financially support this, because you saw what happened with the AAF last year. They lasted 2/3 of a season.
Right.
You need a long runway for a football organization to become profitable, a league. And you have to do it correctly, and that's what the last 2 attempts, the AAF and XFL 1.0, have had wrong. They've thought that they were going to turn a big profit in year 1, and that's just not the way it works. You have to build a fan base. You have to build you have to get to where people want your product. And
How are their ticket prices?
That's a good question. Let me pull up one. Let me look. I don't know if opening week's not fair to look at, though, right? You have to look at let's look at week 4.
Okay.
Let's look at week 4. The Seattle
wouldn't they be the
Dragons.
Same? Wouldn't the ticket prices be the same?
But there might be a little more hype.
A little bump in ticket prices for week 1.
So let's look at week 4. This would be the Seattle Dragons versus
you're basically
the St. Louis Battlehawks.
Would you say that the level of play in the XFL? By the way, is this too long, or should we wait to do this on the turnaround?
Let's get to that on the turnaround.
Okay.
Let me go back to my list. Sorry, I've got the Ticketmaster website for the Battlehawks and Dragons opened up. Third, Mitt Romney.
Mittens. Good for him. You know, he...
yeah, where are we at on the...
guy stood his ground.
Yeah.
And he stood up for what he thought was right. And,
Where are we at on the John McCain discussion? There's a lot of comparisons this week, just because Mitt Romney was the only Republican senator to flip parties. I believe the first ever party member to vote to remove a sitting president of the same party.
Oh,
in all three instances. A lot of people comparing it to John McCain, who single-handedly shut down the Obamacare repeal a few years ago with his now famous thumbs down as he was walking through Congress. A lot of people giving Mitt Romney some similar treatment this week, even though it didn't amount to anything.
Yeah.
It's just he's the first to ever do it.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, good for him.
Yeah.
He didn't vote the party line.
Yeah.
You wish more would do that.
Next up, Punxsutawney Phil did not see his shadow?
Or did see his shadow? I think he did see his shadow.
We've got to go to this, though. Can we lock this in next year? You and me, Groundhog Day, and I want the stupid costumes. I want us to stand out a little bit. I don't want top hats, Steve. I want novelty top hats that are so tall we're ducking under electric wires.
So like a 20-foot tall?
Like, I want it to be so burdensome.
Boy, it's on a Tuesday.
What?
Why can't they do this thing on the weekend?
Well, they did this year. We missed it.
Well, okay. Well, then, look. We're looking long term.
Well, it won't be on a weekend again until 2024.
2022. Okay, it's on a Wednesday.
Yeah,
hold on.
2023 will be a Thursday.
Well, let's just wait and see.
2024 will be a Saturday because it's a leap year.
No,
it will be
2023. It's not on the schedule.
Oh, they canceled it? Well, we got to go 2022 then, so we can see the last ever Groundhog Day.
How do you cancel Groundhog Day?
I don't know. Ask Bill Murray. Right? You see that wacky Super Bowl commercial?
He was driving the Jeep.
He was
pretty nice.
Going through it, but he didn't mind the day.
Driving a Gladiator.
So
nice.
He was okay going through it.
Pretty sure it was a Rubicon equipped Gladiator.
Good Lord. Keep it for your sidecast. Nobody cares.
Yeah, apparently
They're canceling it?
The date of Groundhog Day has not been determined past 2021.
Well, had a good run. Yeah, Punxsutawney. But either way,
It's going to be spring.
A short winter.
We're already we're basically into spring now.
Hey, it looks like the snow stopped outside.
Yeah.
And lastly, Valentine's Day. Any
Cupid shooting the arrow.
Any big plans?
It was funny the other day. Annette said, "Oh, my mom said that she'll watch Evelyn if you want to do something for Valentine's Day." And I was like, "Ooh, oopsie."
Oh yeah.
Of course.
Oh, thank God. I mean, we got the night out.
I don't think we have any plans. I think we might maybe just go out to dinner or something.
Yeah,
but we don't
do a double Valentine's Day.
Do a double date.
Yeah.
We can do a double date.
Go get some steak.
Finally, we could pay off the. Wait, are you just trying to get a free meal out of the thing?
Because I don't want to eat it, so I'll buy my own dinner and then I'll eat your stupid steak.
So if I paid for your steak, you still wouldn't eat it?
No, I'd eat it. Come on, I'm not disrespectful most of the time.
I was going to say that's the biggest lie you've ever told.
Would it embarrass you if the four of us went out for a nice dinner, like for whatever reason,
like we're wearing fancy shirts and everything?
Yeah, like we decide to do the four of us out for Valentine's night, double date, the least romantic thing you can possibly do. Go out with another couple of friends, and it's a steakhouse or whatever, and you three get your steaks, and it's medium, and I'll take the mushroom sauce or mushroom.
Yeah.
Ugh. Keep them in the ground.
I don't like the mushrooms.
No. Yeah. And then I say, I'll have your chicken tenders with a side of tangy BBQ. With that,
but ketchup as well.
But ketchup as well.
Because I'm not an animal.
Well, and also I have French fries, so make sure you keep the ketchup.
And can you make sure that the French fries are in a little plastic boat?
Yeah, and extra seasoning. Thank you. It's a holiday.
Extra seasoning? You mean salt, sir?
No. These are going to be like the Checkers fries that have like the,
yeah, salt.
Yes.
Oh, do you have waffle fries or curly fries?
You know what? Give me a menagerie of fries, please. On a scale of 1 to 10, how embarrassed would you be?
Oh, I don't care.
No?
Yeah, it wouldn't embarrass me at all.
Oh, man. Dang it.
No, I mean, if you asked for, a placemat so you could color on it while you were waiting for your food to show up, maybe a little bit.
But Valentine's Day, it is weird. It not saying it changes or it's worthless. A lot of people enjoy it. You teach their own, right?
The only reason I enjoy it is because, look, I never questioned my wife's love for me, so I don't need Valentine's Day to
I would
reaffirm. Has she said something?
No, but I mean, here and there situation, there's a pretty big gap there. That if she,
oh yeah, you're 100% correct.
You should always double check. Like, hey, you're still good with this, right?
She's probably with me for my riches. I mean, look around. You think that anyone can get this lime green wall?
20-something Annette, fresh off a heartbreaking dissolution of a relationship, crying to her college roommate, maybe taking some shots of liquor. I just want a guy who can give me a 1990 Jeep Comanche without rust on the frame.
You're in luck. This guy can do that.
It just took another 10 to 12 years for her knight in shining armor to want to provide her Jeep.
No, I enjoy when it can just be me and her going out for a nice meal.
Always a special occasion.
Yeah.
It's always nice to, especially once you have kids, it's nice to be able to get away.
Yep, now that we got kids.
Yeah, daddy-o.
The old ball and chain daddy-o.
Before that, Punxsutawney Phil. I don't think I ever cared about Groundhog. Does anybody care outside of that little town in Pennsylvania?
No one does.
And
well, when you were a kid, it was kind of a big deal.
I don't even know if it was a big deal.
But not even, because when I was a kid, I loved winter. Because it was, you could play in the snow and go sledding.
Yeah. If we can't go next year, we've got to start putting the feelers out for Brother Mike to make an appearance.
He can be like our correspondent.
Yeah, our on the ground, in the field correspondent for Punxsutawney Phil. Before that, Mitt Romney, the only dissenting vote among the Republican Party in regards to removing the president. First time ever. And is already being looked at and displayed as an outcast among the Republican Party.
That's no surprise.
What is their big convention? CPAC, I think it's called, the conservative, whatever. He was officially uninvited from that this summer already. You've already seen heads roll. Now, I don't. Obviously,
Uninvited.
President Trump can't make heads roll in the Senate. He can't say you're not a senator anymore.
Right.
But as you see inside the White House, he already had fired a few people who testified in the impeachment hearings. So definitely no reason to cover anything up there.
Sure.
For that, the XFL. We were looking for ticket prices.
Yeah, how much and what's the closest team to us?
Nothing.
Chicago? There's not one in Chicago?
I don't even believe there is a Chicago team. No, XFL teams.
Nothing in Detroit?
We are in St. Louis, Seattle, Houston, D.C., L.A., Dallas, New York, Tampa Bay.
All right.
So no.
Give me prices.
So for a random Week 6 D.C. Defenders versus the Dallas Renegades, it's at Audi Field in Washington, D.C. I don't know what field that is. Must be a soccer team.
No clue, yeah. No idea.
A verified ticket, whatever the hell that means.
Good. So it's an actual ticket. I'm glad.
Yeah, it's a Defenders verified ticket.
Can I guess?
Yeah, and now granted, this is the lowest, and I will tell you,
so lowest
this is
price,
an upper bowl, or I'm now finding out, doesn't look like they have what would be called standard a lower bowl.
All right, I'll say $30
for section 116. Or sorry, let me go up. Section 114, row 20. $24.
I would go.
Oh, I'd go. Steve, if there was one close, I'm not even dogging this because I actually think this is a very possible reality that this is going to turn out to be a success for a couple of reasons. One, Vince McMahon doesn't typically fail. He usually does a good job at making good business decisions. And two, being that way, he has enough finances to run this for years, even if it's at a slight loss for the first however many years.
What are the players getting paid?
I believe, oh boy, that's a good question.
Like $75,000 a year or a season?
Yeah, I want to say the average salary is $55,000. But I want to say that, XFL will use a standard contract paying $2,725 per week for each player on the active roster, $1,040 which is guaranteed. A $2,222 victory bonus will also be paid to each player on the winning team.
How much?
$2,222 victory bonus. So if every game you win,
oh, okay,
extra
I thought you meant for
$2,200.
the championship.
Non-negotiable. Standard XFL player contract has been, but if I remember right, the quarterbacks were guaranteed a lot more.
Okay.
So they're putting an emphasis because if you have bad quarterbacks, typically the play is going to be a lot worse. So I wouldn't be surprised if the XFL quarterbacks are making in the mid six figures. So which puts them, I mean, they're step below NFL quarterbacks, right?
Yeah, but that's I mean, if you're mid six figures, so
Yeah.
if you're making $100,000 a year.
Yep.
Now, what is their? Because you gave the amount that they get paid per week.
Yeah.
When does their season start and end? Like, how many weeks are they actually getting paid for?
Right. I want to say it's about eight weeks. So the contract specifies a weekly salary of $1,040 per week, which we talked about, with an anticipated gross amount of $27,040. Yeah.
So they're not getting paid for I don't know if they do training camp or
It also no mention in this about that, but it also promises $1,685 for each game played and $2,222 for each win.
So if a team goes 8-0,
Yep.
the most that they can make is
8-0, so $2,222 times 8 for the wins.
so you figure
That's in addition,
$20,000 right there.
That would be in addition to the $1,040 per week. So 8 weeks. So it's $8,000 plus $16,000, and then $1,685 for each game played. So if you're the starting, running back, you get $1,685 times 8 of that. So you're at $12,000 there, plus the $16,000 there, plus the $8,000 for the weekly salary.
So
you're in the
40,
30s.
yeah, maybe 40.
Yeah. Listen, it's not great.
No, but I mean, but
this is people chasing a football dream, and
it's still, I mean, it's not bad because you're doing it for 8 weeks.
Right.
So I would assume that most of these guys are still going to be working their regular jobs.
Well, and I think taking
like a 2-month leave.
Sure. And I have a feeling the big idea with this is the reason it's scheduled right now is that this season will be done and they'll be ready to go. If any of these players want an NFL shot, there's a chance they could be called in May or April for an NFL tryout there in April and May. I'm sorry, I'm just looking up XFL.
So what's the closest team to us then? We said
DC? St. Louis? We can get to St. Louis cheap. We have a airline here that flies to St. Louis like for $60. Listen, if you want to do I'll do it. I'd love to go to an XFL game. I think it'd be fun.
We got to get all of the gear, so we can, and each of us have to memorize the rosters.
I got an email the other day because there's a clothing company that I buy hats from. I'm a pretty picky hat wearer, and it's called like 47 Athletics, and they're the official merch place of the XFL. And I looked at their hats. The hats aren't bad, but they're $30. No, thank you.
Just wait a couple weeks till the whole thing folds and get them for like $8.
Once players are drafted and retained by a team, they become full-time XFL employees paid bi-weekly from December 4 to May 31st. 13 pay periods, $20.80 every 2 weeks, or $27,000. Additional $16.85. Quarterbacks will earn 10 times more.
Wow.
Source told Yahoo Sports these players will earn more than the NFL rookie minimum, so more than $495,000.
Seriously?
Yeah. But you need faces of a league. If you want people to tune in.
Seriously, you play, if the XFL lasts 3 years, and you're a quarterback in the league and you play all 3 years.
Let's say $500,000 a year.
So you got a $1.5 million. Now, granted, a lot of that is gone for taxes and if you have an agent and all of that, but that's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
For a B league or a D league or whatever you want to call it.
Not bad at all.
All right.
And lastly, Steve, the Iowa caucus.
The Iowa caucus.
A mess.
Boy, complete mess.
Yeah. Pete, Bernie, everybody mad at each other. Everybody saying, I won. No, I won. The only thing that we can take for certain is that Joe Biden lost.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. You'd think that this, of all the years for the Democrats to really like pull it together.
Yeah.
And this is what they gave us?
It's like they're not stepping on their own toes, but they're all standing on each other's feet, and then they try to walk at the same time. This is unbelievable.
Yeah.
If you had asked me 2 years ago, I would have told you any Democratic nominee was a gift-wrapped president just because of what seemed to be the public outrage against the current president. But if you ask me today, flip a coin who wins this election this November.
Oh, Trump's going to win.
This is unbelievable. What a squandering for the Democratic Party so far. Unbelievable.
All right, that's another not-so-fast episode of the Fast Five, clocking in at just over 38 minutes.
Next time, 2 weeks, under 25. Promise.
All right, regular length episode, meaning just about 5 minutes longer than this, coming up next week. Talk to you then. See ya.